Hey guys, Dave here from Geek World. So I'm going to do a quick review of Evil Dead the game. This just came out and I am super stoked to talk about it. So first things first, I want to say I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. I've seen all the movies, seen the TV show, and so I was very excited about this game, but also obviously a little concerned because anytime you do a tie-in, it can be real hit or miss. For every Batman Arkham Asylum or Spider-Man, there's, a lot of other Spider-Man and Batman games. But what I think was really interesting about this game is the folks over at Saber, they made a different kind of game than I was expecting. So I was kind of expecting a game where maybe you have a story mode where you play as Ash and his friends and you run around, you kill Deadites, and that would have been really cool. And there is also actually some of the game like that. We'll get back there later. But this game is actually what's known as an asymmetrical multiplayer game. Two teams against each other in the same game using different mechanics. One team of 4 survivors versus 1 demon. It's a really cool thing. The closest thing I've played that's like this is Dead by Daylight. And I'm actually really glad I played Dead by Daylight in the past because it really got me used to this type of gameplay where I think that if I just sort of jumped in and never played a game like this before, I might not quite know how to feel about it because it comes with its own set of challenges. There are so many different characters you can play. There's 22 different characters of the survivors, and they did something really, really smart. So there's 4 players in each team, and since you can't be the same exact character that somebody else picked, they made sure to have 4 different versions of Ash. So no matter what, you can play Ash. You can play Ash from Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, or older Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead. But there's also a bunch of characters, Pablo and Kelly from the show, Lord Arthur from Army of Darkness, Cheryl from the original movie. All the characters have different abilities, and they're broken down into 4 categories: hunters, leaders, support, and warriors. Now, for instance, support is really important for a team. For instance, if you're playing Cheryl, you can heal everybody. So when you start off in your team, you guys all start in a portion of the map. You run around and you start looking for items to pick up, looking for weapons to pick up, because you have a bunch of different mini missions you have to do to complete the game loop. So first off, you arm up, you get some Shemp's Cola, and also the best part is Pink F, which of course, if you've seen Ash vs. Evil Dead, is a very funny reference to that. And that will give you skill points. You want to upgrade things like your health, your resistance to fear, your range attacks, your melee attacks, your stamina. And essentially you need to do a bunch of stuff. You need to pick up pieces of the Necronomicon, then you go later to get the Kandarian dagger, and then you have a big fight at the end. All while Deadites are attacking you. And now while you're doing that, somebody over here playing the demon is basically running around collecting this infernal energy so that they can lay traps for you and summon deadites and summon bosses. I have to say, I was a little concerned at first. I almost didn't play as the demon because I'm sort of hit or miss in Dead by Daylight playing the killer. But I wanted to do it just for the sake of this review. And I gotta be honest, I kind of loved playing as the demon. You can be the necromancers, which of course is led by Evil Ash from Army of Darkness. You can be the puppeteers, led by Elagos from the TV show. And there are the warlords, led by Henrietta from Evil Dead 2. It's actually really neat. So when you're playing as the demon, basically you're flying all through the board and you're collecting energy, and it's in Raimi Cam, which is really awesome. You can lay traps, you can sabotage the treasure chest people find, and what's really awesome is when you set a trap in the treasure chest, you have 2 options. You can set Ash's evil hand from Evil Dead 2 or Mini Ash's from Army of Darkness, and they both do distinctive things. The evil hand does more damage. Mini Ash, literally they steal stuff from your inventory. So I love that, and that's kind of the cool thing about the game. I know I've done a lot of explaining about it because I want to give you guys an idea of the dynamics in case you do want to pick it up, because I think a lot of people might fall in the category of just being huge fans of this franchise of Evil Dead, and I want to say just baseline, if you're a fan of the franchise, this game gives you the goods. They have both cabins from Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, a lot of the characters from the movies and from the TV show. Of course, you have a chainsaw hand. There's the boomstick, the sawed-off shotgun. They do a ton to to really make the fans feel like they are rewarded essentially for being fans. And I really love that. I think that was really smart on their part. Just as a game, it's actually really cool. There is a bit of a learning curve if you've never played a game like this before. You have to get used to it. I will say, like, I think it's more fun if you have a group of friends, but it's not a big deal. You can always play solo and you can fill your team with AI if you can't. But it's a really fun game, and it's really fun to play both sides. I will say playing as the demon is more stressful, but at the same time, I think it's more rewarding than playing as the killer in Dead by Daylight. Because in Dead by Daylight, I found a lot of time I was like, it was cool being Michael Myers or being Freddy Krueger, but ultimately I was sort of like, felt like I was kind of lumbering around while people were looping around. But I think playing as the demon in this, there's so much more strategy. You know, you can go and, like I said, you lay traps, you throw different deadites at them, and you can possess people and attack their team with them. I mean, some of the crazy moves the deadites have, like you can bring out a deadite and then you can take control of that deadite and you can like rip off your head and toss it at them. You can like blow yourself up right next to somebody. So there's like so many different things you can do. As the demon, you also have skill points that you get during the game and that you add to your character while playing the game. Unlock things like elite deadites, certain possession powers, also to unlock the boss. Honestly, the game is a good time. Oh, that's the other thing I want to mention. If you're a big fan of Evil Dead and you're like, well, I'm not really sure about this kind of gameplay, they also do a really cool thing where there are 6 solo story missions that all take place in different scenes and moments from the original movies and TV show. They have an Evil Dead 2 one that's really great. There's a Pablo one from the TV show that's really awesome. And they're weirdly pretty difficult. They're about like 20 minutes each one, but there's like no autosave. And so like I've gotten to the point where I get to the final boss battle and I just don't have enough health and I'm not dodging enough and I die and I have to go all the way back to the beginning. It's almost like old school video gaming. It's pretty wild. That was the kind of game I was expecting to get, but I gotta be honest, the game they gave me, I think theoretically is going to be ultimately much more playable in the future and probably more fun. Also, there's drive mechanics in it where you can drive the Delta around. I will say the one thing that is difficult for me is when you're a survivor, you have to not only watch your health, but you need to pay attention to your fear. Because essentially, like, the more time you spend in the dark, the more this fear gauge goes up, and the more you get attacked by deadites, the more the fear gauge goes up. And the problem is when your fear hits a certain limit, not only do more deadites come after you, but also you are able to be possessed by the demon. Then you will start attacking your fellow players, and they will have to like shoot you and beat you up. So there's a lot going on. The game's pretty complicated. I would say if you're just a fan of Evil Dead and never played a video game before or don't really play many video games, it might be kind of tough to get into it. But there are plenty already, some really cool tutorial videos online that could help you get a good idea. But I think for sure if you've played Dead by Daylight before, a friend of mine basically described this game as Dead by Daylight meets Left 4 Dead, which I think is really astute. But just to be simpler, it really is Dead by Daylight, but with combat. Instead of running around fixing generators and looping, you have shotguns and, sledgehammers and axes, which for me makes it actually a lot cooler than Dead by Daylight. That's it, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you're playing the game and if you like it. And also, what is your favorite Evil Dead movie? I gotta be honest, I'm a huge Army of Darkness guy. I can't help it. It's just that right mix of humor and over-the-topness. But, I like them all. So let me know down below. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.